and welcome to the 6th video now, 6th country. Welcome to Sweden. We're here for the Adidas Stockholm Marathon, 1st of June 2024. So it's Saturday morning, it's about half nine, race starts at 12, got to go pick up the number, get to the start line, probably going to leave in about half an hour. What did we do? So we flew over yesterday, Friday evening. We were initially meant to fly Friday morning with Ryanair, but then they cancelled our flight a few months ago, so we had to rebook, and the only other flight that worked really was a late evening British Airways flight. So took off about 8:30 in London, didn't land until midnight here, which it's not exactly perfect for the day before a marathon, but there was the Orlando Express still running, so I got on the second to last one of those at about midnight. It only took about 15 minutes to get into town, and then we're about a 10-minute walk from the main station. We're in the Old Town section, I've forgotten what it's called. It's kind of like a little mini island in the middle of the city. So yeah, we got here about 1 o'clock. We were in another tiny little Airbnb. That's the window, TV, seats. The window doesn't open actually. It's boiling hot in here. This fan has to be running the entire time. You see, there's no circulation of the air at all in here. That's about it. There's the bed up there. It's similar to the one in Brighton, with a little bunk bed on top of the rest of the room. Smallest sink in the kitchen I've ever seen, and then the bathroom is basically just a wet room, hence all of the water all over the floor. Yeah, it is absolutely boiling hot in here, and it's boiling hot outside as well. I think the forecast saying it's going to be about 26 Celsius, and this race, the reason that the midnight landing could work is because this race doesn't start until midday, which is good logistically, but terrible for running in the midday sun. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I've got a different top on to the last few marathons that I've done. I've still got that blue. Where is it? There, who knows. My blue London Marathon t-shirt that I'd usually wear. I've worn this one. I bought this top new recently, and I'm giving it a trial run today, because my intention is, the reason I bought the sort of most plain white top I can, I bought a few flags online as well, little iron-on, stitch-on flags. I'm going to try and populate this as a sort of checklist, completion guide, conversation starter, souvenir type thing. Try and each country I complete, run a marathon in, add a flag. So yeah, I'm giving it a trial run first to see if I can actually run comfortably in it, make sure it doesn't make my nipples bleed or something like that. I've had that with one top before and haven't worn it since. So yeah, hopefully it goes well today, and nice white top should hopefully be alright for the sun as well. So yeah, gonna leave in a few minutes, get up to the start line, pick up my number and the race bag, and drop my stuff off, try and find some shade to stay out of the sun beforehand. The start is slightly out of town from where we are. I think it's the old Olympic Stadium. I think you start outside it and then end with half a lap of the track, which should hopefully be pretty fun. I don't really know too much about the course. The more of these marathons that I've done, the less well prepared I've come into each one. Starting to kind of catch up on me a little bit, all of the planning and everything. I think you kind of just do a few laps of the city. I think it should be quite flat. I think Stockholm in general is quite a flat city. So hopefully, tough weather but nice course. Hopefully it evens out to not be completely terrible, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, what I gotta do now, just gotta kind of get my shoes on, pack the bag, last bit of kind of final prep, and then we'll be on the way. Gotta fight the rays. Sun cream. I've never raced with any sun cream on before, I don't think, not for a long time at least. Did Richmond Marathon September 23, which was even hotter than it's going to be today. So about over 30 Celsius, I think, towards the end of the race. Yeah, I think I just forgot to put any sun cream on that day. But hopefully, especially this stuff on my face, does not come back to bite me via sweat pretty early on. We'll see how it goes. Good to go. Got the travel shoes. I've actually done one marathon in these in Canada. Deliberately took that one slowly, so deliberately wore the slow shoes. They're just super comfortable for walking around, and look at all that sole. There's that t-shirt. I already put it in the bag. Because the info says there's like a no bag policy in the expo place. I'm not entirely sure what that means for participants. But yeah, packing a plastic bag in case I need to just carry everything myself and don't want to chuck it in my blue rucksack. Gel time. Got the Adidas's, but just went for the Adidas race, but sadly no sponsorship money yet.
Och 10 i den 45:e upplagan av Adidas Stockholm Marathon. Välkomna hit.
Tidigare har så många löpare varit anmälda som idag. Det är ett nytt.
Water stations also from the starting area before the race.
It's shaping up to be a great day, to be honest. Really good atmosphere around here. Portally, because it's the only place to speak. You might be able to hear the announcer out there. 5 minutes to start. Got the number, dropped the bag off. It's absolutely boiling hot, but yeah, I guess we'll get going. Very, very hot already. I'm already tired. Legs are feeling tight, but let's make the most of it. I think that's where we were, on this track somewhere at 1 AM this morning. Lovely spot. it is hot. Come up to 5 miles now. I'm already feeling it pretty bad. The camera down. Don't know what that building is, but it looks important. Race, but just too hot. Pick up the pace now, I might catch him. "18 miles done. This is horrible. It's lovely, but it's horrible as well. There's a stadium. Nearly there. So he's doing half of that. Oh, what a track! What a track! What a finish line! Oh, this is brilliant! I don't care if I'm in pain. I got this is absolutely brilliant. Oh, I want to run here. Oh, I'm so glad this is done, but what a finish line. Oh, we're done. Oh, what a run. Just came out of the metro station. on the wrong side, but I'm glad I did. What a view. Hello, Sunday morning now. Very, very tired. The race was an absolute nightmare. Just starting at midday in the sun, in the heat, was ridiculously difficult. I hadn't really slept at all the last few days either, so my body just wasn't prepared for it in any way. After about 10 miles, I was already starting to feel pretty rough and knew it was going to be a fight to the finish line. So the last few miles had to kind of break each mile up into 4 laps of the track, walk a quarter mile and then run 3/4 and then take another break. Got to the finish line though. It was a tough day but a fun day still, and a good run, and if it was just a little bit colder it would have been a very enjoyable one. After the finish, got on the metro and came back to the Airbnb, and then me and Kira went out for dinner. It was already about 5 o'clock by the time I got back. We went out for dinner. There's an Irish pub about 20 yards from where we are, so went in there, had something to eat, and then they were showing Champions League final and they had like a basement bar thing, which is pretty cool, although absolutely boiling in there once a lot of people had come in. Watched the final in there, then went back up to the main level where there was some live music going on. Only stayed for 3 or 4 songs though, because just absolutely shattered by that point and needed to go to bed. Came back to this absolutely boiling room. Got to sleep about 11 o'clock midnight, I think. And now, Sunday morning. Kia, do you want to tell everybody what we're up to today?
Well, I think we're probably going to miss McDonald's breakfast because it finishes in 12 minutes, which is very sad. So we need to find some breakfast first. Then there's a bit in the old town that we haven't actually been to, so I think we should go there. Then I want to go to the city hall. Then I want to go to this museum where there's this boat or ship that had from the 17th century that's completely intact. Very cool. I've seen it on Instagram ages ago, and I thought, it's in Stockholm, I'm never going to see it. Should be able to see it, and then go to the Viking Museum.
Okay. Yeah, probably about 7 hours before we have to get on the train back to the hotel, back to the airport. I don't know. Better get going.
We go.
Our first stop was to try and find a locker to drop off our bags so that we didn't have to carry them around all day in the sun. Our Airbnb host had recommended some lockers in a department store just around the corner from us, about a 10-minute walk, but that didn't open until 11, so we headed over there and grabbed some breakfast whilst we were waiting for that to open. We then went in at 11:01, and frustratingly the lockers were temporarily closed. After that we headed to the central station, where there were also a few lockers there. There were 2 or 3 different sections of lockers scattered around the station, and every single locker was taken. Not a single locker was free. The only ones that were open were those that were out of order. And at that point we were getting a bit annoyed and just decided that we had to crack on and carry the heavy bags around. Wasn't off to a great start the day, but we jumped on the bus and headed out of town to where the museums were. There was kind of an island that was almost dedicated to museums and leisure stuff, which was pretty cool. We went straight into the ship museum first, the Vasa ship, Vasa Museum, and it was just breathtaking. it was really quite amazing. The ship's absolutely enormous, especially when you see people, walking around it, and it gives a good sense of scale. And it's covered top to bottom in detail, and it was just amazing to see something that had been so well preserved after spending hundreds of years underwater. It's definitely worth checking out if you're in Stockholm at some point. We spent a while walking around it and looking at the different exhibits and bits of history that they had about the ship and how it was recovered, and then left the museum, and we were thinking about heading to the Viking Museum after that. It was just around the corner on this same island, but we were just kind of shattered. We were getting really quite tired and didn't quite have enough time because of the delays earlier on. So we decided to miss that one and just walk around a little bit instead. Whilst we were walking around, we saw that there was a boat just arriving that would take us back to near Gambastan, so decided to jump on that. Yeah, it was a pretty nice way to get around whilst the sun was out. Back in Gambastan, we had some lunch and then walked up to the Royal Palace. Yeah, by this point we were completely knackered from all the walking around in the sun and the heavy bags, so just sat for a while and found it funny how natural the guards looked simply by looking around. Yeah, compared to the beefeaters in London that have to stand completely still like statues. We'd got an email from British Airways saying that our flight was going to be extremely busy and we couldn't check in online or through the app. So we ended up, being tired, wanting to get out of the sun, heading to the airport really early, like a good 4 hours beforehand or something. We just wanted to make sure that there weren't any issues or that the flight hadn't been overbooked or anything, and the last people checking in weren't going to get on. So yeah, we headed up there pretty early and then had some food in the lounge. It was nice to kind of sit down in a relaxing seat for a while, and I did some revision for my final accounting exam, which is coming up in July. We then got an email from British Airways saying that our flight might be delayed, which always throw you into a bit of a panic to try and figure out what's wrong. But luckily in the end it was only delayed by about 20 minutes, and I slept pretty much the whole way through the flight just from the pure exhaustion. And it only took about 2 hours in the air, and kindly my mum picked us up from Heathrow so we didn't have to get the tube back. And this was another late evening flight, same as the one out there, and by the time we got home, just absolutely knackered. Got into bed and had to be up early Monday morning to go to work. Because of this exam that I've got coming up in July, we haven't got another international trip lined up until August, which will be quite a big one. We're going on safari around Southern Africa for 2.5-3 weeks, and I'm going to try and tick off a marathon in the 4 countries that we're visiting, which might be very difficult, will definitely be interesting and memorable. So yeah, quite a big adventure coming up then. Before that though, I will be doing another marathon here in the UK at the end of July, just after this exam's out of the way. So keep an eye out for that one, and as always, thank you for watching. Hopefully see you in that next video, and take care. Bye bye.